odds are you clicked on this video and you're already assuming some beliefs about me that you think are true. Well, false. I got you so good. This isn't actually a Trump hat. This is a hat that says "Make Donald Trump Again." It's a meme. It's a meme from 2015 where a famous comedian, John Oliver, realized and did some digging and noticed that the Trump family name bases, and it's traced back to when they immigrated from Germany to the United States. They changed their name from Drumpf to Trump. Drumpf sounds silly, goofy, and silly. I said it twice because it's silly. And Trump sounds masculine, strong, and awesome. So it makes sense that they would change their name. Now, what this also makes you realize, once you realize it's a meme hat, is you're starting to feel a little silly because you're like, this guy tricked me. I thought he was one way, and now I'm realizing I have no idea. Gotcha. So here's the thing. This is what I'm so passionate about, and hopefully by the end of this video, I can kind of share a little bit about this, and you'll understand more about what I believe. When it comes to elections, when it comes to politicians, when it comes to anything out there, it is so much more important for you to sit and reflect on your own and think about what actually aligns with your values and why you have those values than it is to listen to what anybody else is telling you. And don't just listen to what the mainstream media is telling you. Don't just listen to what your friends and family are telling you. You need to be able to have your own thoughts and decisions and make smart decisions from there. I know I said decisions twice, but we're all doing this in one take because I think it's more important that way. Now listen, my wife she's a silly one. Yes, I'm just going to say this right now. I hate Donald Trump people. And I hate Kamala Harris people. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that the people who are obsessed with each of these, I do not find them the most enjoyable. Now, there are people who prefer one or prefer the other, or even better, they don't like one or they don't like the other, so that's how they make their decisions. I think the majority of the United States during this time period is more so making decisions on who they don't like versus who they do like, okay? Because we're all imperfect beings, and because of that, we have to make decisions on who do we like the least, and then I'll pick the other one. Is kind of the idea, right? And so I just see people who are so pro-Trump or so pro-Kamala that they think they don't have flaws. They think that Kamala is the way to save the country. They think Donald Trump is the best human being in the world. I've had multiple conversations with people who literally think Donald Trump is perfect, who literally think Donald Trump is sent by Jesus to save America, which I don't necessarily believe. And I think those people are a little bit blinded. And why do I say that? I say that because most people who put their faith in things on the earth, they don't know how good it is to put their faith in something not of this earth. Now, overall, do I think there is a candidate who is going to be better suited to lead the country based off of the beliefs I have? Yes. And I voted for them. They, them. It's 2024, guys. But overall, what I want you to be aware of, you the viewer who's watching this right now, if you're spending time with me, I appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to know more about my life. My name's Dino Favara. I'm a 30-year-old entrepreneur / social media strategist, and I like making videos on the internet. I like growing in a meaningful way, and I want to help you do that too, just through this content. And so whether that's in your life, personal, professional, economical, hobbies, etc., that's what this channel is for. It's just kind of like an outlet of my own personal interests. And right now I'm thinking a lot about this topic because I don't know if you've ever heard of the idea of Plato's cave. If you have, then you don't really need to listen, but I'll do a quick overarching synopsis of what it is. Plato was a philosopher back in the olden days, and he had this principle of the cave. And you would learn about this through his teachings. And basically the idea is that humanity are in a cave, right? And he actually tells a story about these people, about there is this cave, right? And inside the cave, there are people watching the shadows and illuminations that are being reflected on the walls. And I'm guessing I'm going to edit because I'm going to have to put an image like right here or something. But there's like this imagery of these humans watching the shadows on the wall. And behind them are these almost puppeteers and puppet masters of people making the shadows appear on the wall for these others to entertain themselves and to watch. All the while, the entrance to the cave and the exit to the cave and the entrance to the outside world is right behind them. There's so much more available to them outside of the cave, but they're so distracted by what is being shown to them that they don't have the chance or opportunity or even thought to stand up, look around, and see that there's something better out there. This is entirely the principle of the Matrix. If you want to know what Plato's cave is, it's literally the Matrix, right? And this is why everyone loves this idea of the Matrix. Oh, you're in the Matrix, bro. It's because this is such a palpable and strong analogy of what's going on in our lives. We, as the main group of people, are being entertained by movies, television, media, reality stars, influencers, TikTok, social media, all these things. And all they want to do is distract you from what's actually there. They want to distract you and tell their own story. And the only way you can tell stories is through characters. And what the mainstream media does, and what news is doing, what every single person, what every influencer does too, is they paint a picture of a type of character. So you listen to some sort of like left-leaning influencer, storyteller, news station, etc., and they're going to paint Donald Trump as this evil, misogynistic human being, and Kamala as this perfect, amazing, and really nice person, right? That's what they want to paint her as. Now, on the right side of things, they paint Donald Trump as literally the savior to America. They paint him as like this golden boy, a genius who can do no wrong. And then they paint Kamala as this evil, twisted result of the system, of like the Hollywood elites, the capitalistic elites who are running the country and are trying to convince us to, ignore them, right? Those are the characters that are being portrayed. Now, do I think there's some truth to those? Yes, because all characters stem from truth. But what I actually believe is that neither of those characteristics are 100% true. I think Kamala is probably relatively a nice person to have a conversation with if she wasn't trying to be so perfect all the time. I think she's probably really smart. She probably has her own little sense of humor that she enjoys, and she can have a good conversation with someone. Same with Trump. And here's what I think is so powerful about the Joe Rogan podcast in regards to all of this is the Joe Rogan podcast. Donald Trump went on it, and it was so powerful because it was 3 hours of unscripted, unedited, just Donald Trump, like who he is as a person. That's him. You can't fake being someone else for 3 hours on air talking to someone. Like, you just can't do that. It's just, that is you, right? And that's why everyone wants to see Kamala on it, is because they're like, I want to see who the real Kamala is. And I don't think it's fair to either of those individuals to paint one of them as evil or like the worst thing to ever happen to us, because that's what the media is telling us. That is what your influencers are telling us. That is what these news professionals are telling us. My main point is this: whatever is pushed, be wary. Whatever is pushed, be wary. Do not just give in to what is pushed upon you. If you see the news saying so, if you notice, anytime the news reports on something, they don't just like show what happened. They always talk about what happened in a negative or positive way, and then they show what happened, and then they explain to you what happened as if we're 5 years old. I would be interested to see what would happen to all of us in America, all of us as humans, if instead of listening to a news station tell us what happened, if we actually just were shown videos of what happened with no commentary. If we were shown things with no commentary, one, it would be way more boring and we wouldn't know what to think. We'd probably get really bored and not even watch it. Ironic. There's a lesson in there, right there. But I have a feeling we'd also have a lot harder time figuring out what we believed and would have a lot harder time hating a certain person. Think about that. If you were shown just what was said, not a racist Puerto Rican joke, but if you just saw the joke and yeah, it was dumb, but I think we paint things over what, whatever happened with Kamala with the hurricane. Like, I know it was dumb because people are painting it as dumb, where others are painting it as heroic, right? Let me just say this too. Multiple times I've seen, what did I write here? I've seen a narrative start within the first 20. Yeah. This is interesting. Anytime something happens, there's a narrative that's already being pushed. And then within 24 hours, sometimes we can find out that that narrative was not true. And here's my wrap up of all of this. 1, because the video is getting too long. 2, because I only have 4% battery, 3% now. Is this. The reason I think Kamala people and Trump people are so gung-ho and so passionate about this is because they have put their faith in those people. I'm very lucky. I don't feel so strongly about one or the other that I'm like exercising my friends and like getting rid of people because they believe differently than me. I put my faith in Jesus Christ. I put my faith in a God in heaven who created all of us, sent his son down to an imperfect world to die for our sins, and then be rose again 3 days later. So that way we can enjoy that salvation that was totally unnecessary, but he did it anyways because he loved us. I want to challenge you. Who are you putting your faith in? Are you putting it in a politician, a flawed human being? Are you putting it in science? Are you putting it in something here that was made by a human? Or are you putting it somewhere else that never fails, that is consistent and loves you? Food for thought. Go vote.